What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I wanted to jump back on because we were on earlier today, and I literally just got the time to. So, um, we're for one of our late night music mentorships, and just wanted to say, if you don't know me, hi, Rashad Covington here. I have the amazing privilege of being a music artist, and it is my main source of income. It is my main source of impact. And so I am extremely grateful to God for that. And I endeavor to help growing music artists, um, be they young or young at heart, to also achieve the same thing where their musical artistry is their main source of income. So that is one of the main things. And it really goes to the point of doing this so that um here's what let's move the professionalism out the way. Here's what I believe. If you don't step out and start doing the music, if you don't step out and start presenting the music the way that you feel in your heart that you're supposed to, and you like know deep down that you're supposed to, then there is a generation of people who will never experience the freedom, I'll say, that comes from what you have to present. They'll never experience the joy that comes from the music that you have to present. They'll never experience the peace that comes with it. They'll never experience the clarity that comes with it. They'll never experience the the um, the way that your music makes them think and makes them reconsider things. They'll never experience the way that your music helps them to feel. That if you don't step out, hey, if you don't step out and actually start presenting it, you'll miss the opportunity to actually help people. At at the core of this is what this is. You'll miss the opportunity to actually help people through your musical artistry. I hear that. I don't believe that we become, and I really believe we're called to it. I think it's a divine assignment, but I don't believe we're called to become musical artists simply to fulfill some random pipe dream we may have, or simply to just be music artists. I believe personally that all of our assignments, those of us that are assigned to musical artistry, I believe it has a people attached to it. I believe it has at least one person attached to it, if nothing else. But I believe it has a multiplicity of people attached to it, and it has attached to it their answers. Right? I know we don't oftentimes think of musical artistry as, sometimes we don't think, at least think of it as answers, and we don't think of it as that. We just think it's just something we do, and it helps people. Music helps people through life a little bit, but we got to understand and unpack why it helps them, and how it helps them, and in what ways, right? And you don't even know, like, your music could be the the um the stopping factor behind somebody's attempt to end their own life, right? You could be, because you chose to step out and actually be the musical artist, here it is, that you were designed to be, to present what you knew deep down in your heart that you were supposed to present. You don't know how much that is going to cause for another person to step into who they're supposed to be, to step into not um making a particular decision too fast. And I know you're like, it's just music, dude. It's not just music. It's not. Music has always been a very important factor in the world. It's always been a very important factor of life. It's always been very important. It's a communication tool, right? It's a tool of communication. And I truthfully believe that it's a tool of communication between God and human beings. I believe that music is one of the avenues of communication that God uses to communicate with us. Believe it or not. But I'm of the order that believes that music is not simply um, art. It's not simply artistic, but music can be prophetic. Music can be revelatory. Music can be um, in its essence, God framed and God breathed, right? And when we don't step into the reality of who we've been called to be and what message we've been called to present to the world musically, a lot of people miss out on a lot of things, right? Think about where you were at a low moment and that particular song came on, right? Think about where you were after a breakup and that particular song came on. Think about how on the edge you were. And let's say you went to a church service even and you heard a specific song, right? You were watching a movie and it just so happened this particular song came on and something about it touched your heart. You got to realize that there was a greater power at work inside of music. And hey, I don't think I said hello. Hey. Um, but that might be new. You don't understand there's a greater power at work. And those of us that are called to musical artistry, we are called to wield this power. And, the age old saying, with great power comes great responsibility, right? And I think sometimes we don't understand, even in our procrastination, even in our self doubt, even in our not wanting to, or our not feeling like it's going to be effective, or here it is. We have music, we have things, but it's like, what's the point? Thank you so much. Absolutely so. Thank you. Thank you. Um, we have, I needed that actually. Thank you. We have this music in the background and we have all this stuff sitting in our brains. We have these ideas and we have, but we don't want to put time into it. Some of us even feel like we're supposed to do this like full time. And we don't want to put time into it because it's like, dude, how am I gonna make? Wait a minute. I can't just devote all this time and it's not gonna yield any return, right? I think a lot of times one of the stoppers is the fear of investing and getting no return, right? So I'm investing all this time, I'm investing all this effort, I'm investing all this whatever into making this music, into presenting this music, into doing this. And the return on investment is literally nothing. And you feel like, and this can't just be money. At times it won't just be money. Sometimes it'll be like actual like attention, like people's ears turn to the music. Sometimes it's like, okay, nobody's listening to what I put out. It's like I even got close people to me that don't seem like they care about what I put out. So like, what's the point of doing this? Let me encourage you, especially those of you who really are within yourself. You just know that you're called to musical artistry. You know that this is the thing that God has placed in your spirit, has placed in your heart to do, and has called you to. Um, and wow, thank you so much. The thing that you, God bless you as well, really. Um, wow, thank you. You know that this is the thing. A lot of the times we'll we'll get in our heads about what we're currently seeing, and instead of asking the right questions, instead of pulling in and really readjusting, we'll just get in our heads and we'll get discouraged. I want to speak to the discouraged musical artists at this point, and I want to tell you, please, please do not give up before the thing turns. All right? Don't give up before the thing turns. That's the first thing. Don't give up before the thing turns. There is a day. Again, those of us who are genuinely called to, there is a day where the thing turns. There is a day where what you have invested in, you will see an impact from it, right? And and that's not even to say that your goal is to make money. You just know if you're going to do this at the scale that you know you've like seen yourself doing it, you've seen this in your mind. It's almost like you've seen your future, and you've seen like you doing this like at a particular rate, at a particular scale. But you're like, hey, I can't even put the time. This is not, there's no ROI. There's no return on my investment here. I encourage you, take a step back, breathe for a second, and assess. Income is inevitable, right? When impact is undeniable. I'm going to repeat it. We're going to move on. Income is inevitable when impact is undeniable. So if you will focus on being clear in your mission, your message, having your motives pure, right? And having beautifully crafted musical content that is authentic to what you know you're hearing and what you know you're receiving. If you will be sure to stick to this framework and allow for your impact to speak for itself, here it is. You've got to speak to the things that actually matter, right? You've got to speak to the things that actually matter in people. You've got to talk to, you've got to sing about, you've got to write in accordance to, you've got to craft sounds and arrangements around things that actually matter to people. You have to craft it in a way that actually gets down to the heart of people. And here's what I want to talk to you, to instrumentalists and even those who make more instrumental music as well. Your instrumentals carry a message with them. There is a particular thing in instrumental music where you can play, arrange, whatever in such a way that the atmosphere that the thing brings people into, or that it brings to people, right? It embodies the message. And so you'll hear a sound, you're like, this feels like I'm like jumping through clouds. Like, and you can't explain it. It's just like I just feel good. Or you hear this, it's like, oh, this is really making me contemplate. This is really making me think about XYZ. And here again, I'm just, you know, faith filled Pentecostal, amen, kind of person. And so I believe, and I'm just Jesus guy. So I really do believe that God will cause for certain things to be communicated through the sound as your intention is set on communicating it in your see, I play keys, right? My keyboard's back here. Like as you play keys, it'll be communicated as you play the drums, as you put together the beat, as you put together the track, as you put together the instrumental, it'll come through in the instrumental. And if you're doing it for an artist, that marriage of that intentional sound with those intentional lyrics, to communicate the fullness of that message. It's something about it, man. It's something about it that can't be matched, and the impact will be undeniable. Again, you got to speak to what matters in people and to people and to the people you're specifically called to, right? Your sound, your song, your music, your mission, your message, it won't be for everybody. It won't be to everybody, right? If we're going to talk about having a mission, we're going to have to talk about having a mission field. And everybody's mission field is not the same per se, right? You're talking about having a particular mission. You may have a mission over here to these people, and this person may have a mission over here to these people. Both of you have meaningful missions, just two different sets of people. And sometimes what we're doing is we're taking a mission that's meant for people over here and we're taking it to people over here. And we're frustrated because we're clear that we're doing the thing that we feel like was placed in our heart to do. We're clear that if we, there's ways to navigate certain musical missions. We studied out the topic. We really have spent time with this, something that's near our heart. We know what we're talking about, and we know this is substantial. We know that this message is not surface level. We know that this message is not and we know that we've cracked it in such a way also that it wouldn't go over people's heads per se. It's easy to understand, it's clear and to the point, and it's weighty and impactful. It's just not impacting them. And we're frustrated by that because it's like, dang, we just did all this hard work and it's all in vain. Like the song flopped. And no, it didn't necessarily it didn't necessarily flop. It just hey, Krashad Covington. That is. I write, I sing, I play, I teach others, but we can get acquainted. Just hold on, we can get acquainted. But yeah, we I did all that, and and it's like it flopped, but no, it didn't flop. It didn't flop per se. What the problem was, it was not that the song was bad. It's not that the sound was bad. The musical content was great. All of it was amazing. You just presented it to the wrong people. Hey, Trey from Blackish, I'm crying. You just presented it to the wrong people, and the right people over here. And the only thing you got to switch, this is why I said, please, if you're on the end of discouragement and trying to figure out, please do not give up on your musical artistry. Don't give up on being the artist that you know that you're supposed to be. Because sometimes it's not that the song is bad. Now you have to step back and reassess everything, obviously. But sometimes it's not the song is bad. It's not that it's not substantial. Just the wrong people. And so now you gotta step back and be like, okay, that's not who this is for, and that's why it didn't hit. How do I find? How do I put this in front of the people that this is for? Beautiful thing about that is we got social media out the wazoo. We got YouTube out the wazoo. Here's a cheat code for YouTube. If you want people to hear your music, put your music in a video. Title it. Don't title it the song title. Say, hey, if you're dealing, put the subject of the song, basically the the thing you're addressing in the song, and be like, hey, if you're dealing with this, listen to this, or you might need to hear this, or just find a way to play with it. You know what I mean? And that will pull the people. And here it is. It isn't a tactic to draw people to yourself. It shouldn't be. That here's where the motive check comes in within the mission. The motive here is to get it to the people that it's meant to reach, right? Because the purity of this should be maintained, that I'm not doing this for self-aggrandizement. I'm doing this to serve others that my sound is assigned to. So then the narrative switches, and you have people that are searching, because YouTube is one big search engine, praise God. And they're searching, and I'm going through music for when you're going through this, da, 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 music for da, 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 and they stumble upon your stuff, and they're like, wait a minute, this, this. This is it. This is what I've been looking for. This is it. And it's going to resonate so strongly. It's going to impact them so strongly. And here is your job. Once it impacts them, Lord, you need to have something in place. I'm giving a whole lot away, but amen. You need to have something in place that they can get to more of what you have, if that makes sense, right? So if you have more to offer, you don't you don't you don't cap them at that one thing. Make sure there's something where they can get involved with, like, you obviously subscribing to your channel or stuff like that, or like make sure they have some back end way to be ready for when you release new music, some way to even access other musical items that you may have that may not be on YouTube. Let's talk about it, because if we're talking about income, income is inevitable and impact is undeniable, remember? So again, and it's not to get income, but in order to do musical artistry the way you really want to do it, you're going to have to make money. We can't do this and just do it for free. And the truth about it, if you want the quality, if you want the output, if you want the dot, 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 you're going to have to make money. And people are going to have to spend money to get that. They're going to have to invest into it, right? So, anyways, in that case, you have all that on the back end and you have it behind maybe a paywall, behind a subscription thing, behind something. Build your own track to, you know, um, listeners investing into what they're listening to fully. Build your own track into building a community. I don't. I hate calling people fans and stuff. I'm not saying if you do it, it's bad. I'm saying that It's one of my things. One of my key things is building a listening community surrounding your musical artistry. It's a listening community, right? And so you need to have a fair track for them to come into that listening community. And this listening community is the people that are not just simply, intrigued, but they are so impacted that they are willing to invest into what they're impacted by, right? And so they're watching out for what you got coming next. They're looking for music project. They're looking for other performances. They're looking for you to go on a little tour or something, or do more music and live recording at XYZ. You know what I mean? They're looking for who you're featured on or who you're working with next. They're looking for you to make more music and impact their lives in even greater ways. That's what this is, because income is inevitable when impact is undeniable. Investment is inevitable when impact is undeniable. Some of that investment will be income based. It'll bring you income. Some of that investment will come in the form of other ways of them just being locked in, right? That support. Other support comes in a lot of ways, right? But your goal is impact. You must really, 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 and hear me well. You really have to want to help people. You really have to want to pull people into a better way of life through your music, a better way of thinking through your music, a better way of moving and addressing things through your music. This is going to be your superpower. How well you serve through your musical artistry. I hope you hear me. I hope you hear me. I don't want you to go into this next space of artistry without having some type of grasp on this concept. If you will grasp this and start to maneuver in, and there's more parts to it, and I'll be honest with you, there's a lot more moving parts. But this is the core foundation. You could take this right now, what I've said in this particular live stream, you could take it and implement it, and I believe you would get some results. I do. I wholeheartedly believe you get results. Because if you look at the core, if you reverse engineer some of your favorite artists, if you reverse engineer some of your your thing, and some of you have had, pretty, some maybe had some videos that did well, but if you reverse engineer it, you'll see why. And at the core of it, you'll find some of these principles. And so again, if you just go with this, it's cool. I also offer mentorship, so we can take it even deeper into these concepts. And so you can literally pull into my mentorship, and we can go over this. And I have two things that we navigate through. So I have a Bible study community for musical artists as well, but I have a mentorship that delves into identifying your impact zone. It really it delves into identifying who it is you're called to impact, and we really work through it directly. We'll get to the bottom of it and really uncover it, and that will help you in the process then of pulling into what I call your inspiration center. And this is the place where like ideas and concepts and all that stuff flow super easily, right? And when those ideas come, what we do is we turn ideas into inspiration, we turn inspiration into impact, and then at, when impact is undeniable, income becomes inevitable. And so you actually get to a point where you are able to get paid, in a good way for what you do. This is a strategic way. This is that just it's a way to actually maneuver your musical artistry in a way that will actually assist you, and it'll actually help others while also not killing you off in the process, while you're just working and working and working, 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 and getting no return, right? So it's a very strategic thing. And like I said, we can work through the ins and outs of it within the mentorship. So that is available if you want it again. But I do believe if you just take some of the principles that are on here and on some of the previous videos, you'll see results. You'll see results. So, just want to offer that as well. I want to give you that little bit of those particular mentorship moments. If you want to pull in, whoa, okay, amen. If you want to pull into the mentorship, then you can do so at the link in my bio in my channel. That is there, and it will be also in the link in the description of this video in the replay. I'm not sure it's in the description now. We can check though. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Um, or I can add it real quick. So let's do that. I didn't know that it wasn't in here, but I'm going to add it real quick. So if you want to join the mentorship program, see what that's about, it should be in the description now. I just changed it from the actual thing. So hop in there, and you'll have an assignment immediately upon hopping in. Now we're serious about this, and so I really, 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 really am not kidding about this. I have no agenda other than to um, help others really move into, again. I live off of doing music, right? This is what this is what this is what pays my rent. Hallelujah. Okay, this is what pays my bills. Music does. And so this is what feeds my family. Music. I do music. It's all I've done really for the past 8 years. Well, no, no, no. I had a stint with job in 19. 8 or so years. We'll say 7+ years. It's all I've done. And so it's been my main source of income. And so I want to get you to that spot as well, where um, I want to get you to that spot as well, where that is the case for you, and not so that, here it is, not just so you can be rich and bukus of money just for, again, if you want, man, I'm praying that happens, but it's so that you can actually present the music that you're supposed to present. You can be the musician, the musical artist, the singer, the songwriter, the producer, the rapper, the XYZ that you're really, really designed by God to be. And you can do it with freedom. Really, once you have freedom and financial freedom as well, you can do it at a particular velocity, at a particular frequency. You can do it more frequently, right? You can push out more when you got a little more in your pocket from it. It's almost like it feeds itself. So when you need to do live recordings, when you need to do um, new projects, when you want to put on certain things, it's one of those things you don't have to go and do a GoFundMe for your project. I'm making the money because I have systems in place with the music that I do now, right? So again, we're gonna um, and I get to help more people. I think that is the main goal. I love doing these lives simply for this because um I really do like being able to pull up and help people. It's the only reason I'm doing the mentorship is really because I love getting to pull up and help people and really assist people in who they're becoming. I didn't have a lot of help. Um, I didn't, not a lot. Um, I had, and the people that have helped me, I honor them. I have one person specifically um, that is a like specifically musically a mentor, and I honor him forever. And I I pull on some of the stuff. It was a particular season where we were really, really, because he was actually my, if you know the church structure, he was my minister of music. I was the worship leader, and but I've been watching him for literally years before we got in a close relationship in that regard. But when I took the role as worship leader at the particular ministry space, he took me under his wing, and he would we would do phone calls, and he would talk to me whenever we had rehearsals or whenever we could, and give me pointers and just XYZ. And that stuff I still hold to this day. It's a particular song principle I remember so. I had written a song that I had presented to the team, he and the team for to do for praise and worship. I wrote it, and I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this." And he was like, "Hey, just change this because it's wordy." And he literally was like, "It's wordy," and the sometimes it's unnecessarily wordy. So it was just an extra like and in it or something. But it changed the way I looked at how I write certain stuff, and even like just in general grammatically. Sometimes so it's not an unnecessary word, and it made it harder to sing. I think at a particular point as well. He was like, "Yeah, this is what was it? It was be all glory and honor." And dominion and power and be all glory honor, dominion, and power. Change one of those ands, take the and out. It makes it flow better. And I was like, whoa, it does. And so it's just one of those things. And I just believe. And then the affirmation that he would give and the way that he would cause for me to I stood in a realm of confidence I've not lost to this day because of the voice of a mentor. And so I just, even in these moments, if I'm a mentor for a couple of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's fine. If you don't join the Inspiration Unlimited mentorship, I'm cool. You can, like I said, it's in the description now. It should be, or it's in my bio on here. But even if I can do it just for those few minutes and unlock something in your brain, like it's one connector point that gets you from sitting stagnant and stuck and like feeling like you can't move to this connector, this bridge. It's like, oh my God, I got it now. And that takes you into pushing out the music that the world needs to hear, because they do. Then I've done my job. And I'm glad about it. So um, keep that same energy for your listening community, for the people that you're called to impact, for your impact zone, and you'll be fine. All right, so I'll see you guys when I see you guys, probably tomorrow or later today, whenever, and we'll do this again. All right. Remember though, when impact is undeniable, investment becomes inevitable. One of the ways that people invest is monetarily. So then income becomes inevitable. But so if you're looking to grow, um, the Inspiration Unlimited mentorship is open. And I am ready to receive you again. There's an assignment as soon as you get in the door. We're not playing. All right. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing, for watching all the things, sharing. Um, if you care to share with someone else, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Till next time, stay inspired, friends.